Welcome, and hello. My name is Alexandra Whittington, and I'm very happy that you're here, and I thank you for attending my talk. I hope that you'll come speak with me afterwards and share some of your own ideas with me. So as a futurist, I'm interested in two big things, technology and society. Specifically, I'm interested in how technology can impact women's lives. Today I've chosen to focus on a technology that has a lot of hype around it, but it also has a lot of promise. This is artificial intelligence, or AI, that I'm going to be talking about today. So AI takes many forms. AI can be in a physical form, as a robot, sometimes a human-like robot, with features like a person, or just like a device, like a Roomba vacuum or an Amazon Echo. In digital form, AI presents itself to us as a chatbot, for example, a chatbot that can actually converse and achieve a specific task. Another version of an AI entity might be an invisible one, maybe like an autocorrect that exists only in your phone or your device. It's also the Netflix algorithm that we all know, the one that recognizes your likes and your dislikes. Physically and digitally, AI is quickly becoming a part of our daily lives. So in this presentation, I'm going to explain my concept of how artificial intelligence can unleash women's potential. I have a few examples to show you about how I think AI is wedging into our day-to-day. And then I'm going to share some brief future scenarios with you, which kind of delve into the different ways that AI might help improve women's lives and livelihoods. So here's my first example of AI's impacts, replaced by robots. So some of the biggest and most cited studies about work in the future, such as those written by the World Economic Forum, McKinsey, the Oxford University study, these studies tend to predict that half or more of all jobs could be lost to robots within the next 20 to 30 years. So the future automated workforce could be populated with a variety of characters of both natural and artificial intelligence. I envision that AI workers could cover an entire range of characters, ranging from a cyborg to an enhanced human. That is to say, workers that would fall on a spectrum from human to robotic, with a large number of varieties in between, all together in one workplace. In our books at Fast Future, we constantly reiterate that as technology creates pockets of artificiality, it will be even more important than ever to provide an authentic human context in the workplace. At Fast Future, we tend to call it a very human future, but all of our titles and all of our books reflect this underlying belief that AI can be placed in the service of humanity and not the other way around. Essentially, we believe that the future skills that will matter are the capabilities like interpreting body language, being sensitive to awkward situations, in other words, social skills. This is another example, teaching AI. And I just love this image. It really communicates what the intended message is of my observation. So this is a picture actually from a study that was at the Georgia Institute of Technology, where the researchers were feeding stories into an AI algorithm to teach it acceptable behavior. We're trying to teach it how to act like a person. Essentially, they read it bedtime stories. This tells us that children are a viable model for intelligent beings that observe and learn, building on previous experience. So if AI learns from interacting with us, a parenting metaphor might be the most apt way of defining its integration into society. So there seem to be unique opportunities for women if this nurturing mentality toward AI should be required. Embracing the feminine might become as relevant as coding. While training your own replacement doesn't sound fun, it may be highly rewarding for us to teach AI how to use empathy. For example, helping AI relate to a client experiencing health difficulties, or how to use the right language and the right tone when dealing with frustrated coworkers could be a positive experience for everyone involved. And the AI will never get tired or lose patience with their teacher. Third example, AI and reproduction. Will AI help determine the future of families? Well, looking across the current data, modern women have fewer children than their ancestors did. For example, China currently has the lowest fertility rate in the world. U.S. fertility is at the lowest point on record, and its current population growth is slower than during the Great Depression. There are economic, there are political reasons that explain these patterns, but technology, such as the introduction of medical contraception, also played a really large role in the number of children women have. The other factor is that women are now delaying the age of having their first child. In fact, a recent tipping point was reached recently in the United Kingdom. More women over 40 are having children than women under 20. And the last time this happened was during the Second World War, right? The baby boom. So resource scarcity resulted in a redistribution of labor. Once the war was over, the priorities changed, and so did the birth rates. Women went back to having children in abundance. So as our work is possibly going to be outsourced to robots, we can see from a historical example that in the past, the technologies we used to meet our needs, the farm, the factory, as those evolved, so did the family structure and so did the family size. So as we progress into the next stage of technological revolution, my question is, will a new family type emerge? So this is sociologically significant, yes, but it's also something that might have an effect on the way products are made, the way housing is designed, the way property is used, and maybe even how governments spend their taxes. So now I'm going to share with you 3 short scenarios with AI impacting women. Big Mother, A Woman's Lifetime of AI, and Techno matriarchy. So the first one, Big Mother. And I ask, is this a kinder, gentler Big Brother? Mm-hmm. In this scenario, AI interacts with most of the people, most of the time, through a series of technologies that are personified as feminine. Big Mother characterizes the nature of these fembots as nurturing because they help us remember to take our medicine, wish our friends a happy birthday. They tell us who to date and eventually who to marry. Wearable technology, dating apps, health monitoring, and social media are some of the technologies that feed into this particular Big Mother future. Now my second scenario, I just call this A Woman's Lifetime of AI, which was developed with some of my colleagues. And my particular take on this deals with a life stage many women know, which is motherhood. We already have a pretty good idea of how AI might play a role in the future of caregiving, right? Robotic nurses, robotic doctors, home care providers for the elderly. Some of this is already happening. IBM Watson, the big AI system, is very entrenched in the healthcare system and for healthcare plans for the future. So it's conceivable that these AI machines might help women in the future in their roles as mothers. So how might that happen? First, is there a role for medical AI with regard to contraception? There has actually already been an app that can help women control their fertility using AI. It's already been approved by the FDA in the United States. If a woman should choose to be pregnant, other algorithms could support physical and emotional conditions during pregnancy. You could imagine dietary, exercise, nutrition advice being provided by a daily app, maybe by an AI, to help a woman get through the pregnancy. And then once the baby is born, could an AI nurse be a form of support in the home? This might actually help keep children who are sick out of hospital intensive care. Maybe they could go home a little earlier if they had an AI nurse following them home. They could also help monitor the symptoms and track medication. And later on, caring for sick children and maybe filling the role of a wise elder grandmother could be part of an AI in your family. Okay, I'm going to take it a step further and talk about family structures. Family structures could actually move away from being headed by 2 parents. In fact, could women choose to outsource childcare to smart machines and feel more confident? Dads, daycares, and mothers-in-law tend to make their own decisions when they're alone with your kids. An AI would have to do whatever you had told it to do. So with the rise of AI in childcare, we may actually arrive at yet another really interesting, a really interesting new awareness, which is how children develop and grow. Can a child thrive in the presence of an AI caregiver? The nature-nurture debate that you learn so much about in school, this might help us figure out how that works. Lastly, my third scenario is called Techno matriarchy. Some of today's AI business tools, as you know, have names or personas which are designed to interact with humans. Some of these are chatbots, robo-bankers, I'm talking about robo-lawyers, AI personal assistants, and there are also sales bots working retail. Little by little, AI is joining the workforce. Technology designers know that anthropomorphism, or bestowing human-like traits on AI, makes them more appealing. Many of the high visibility AI personas have human-like characteristics. They have names. Some of them have a gender. For example, Ross, the first robot lawyer, and Watson from IBM, those are both guys, right? Those are clearly men's names. On the other hand, there's Kara. She's a legal assistant. She works for Ross. And there's also Siri and Alexa, who also have feminine names. Another one that I recently heard about was Emma, which is a floor washing robot who works at Walmart. So my proposition is, as technology becomes productivity itself, rather than just the means, is there a fundamental shift in how we think about work? Putting the divisive gender stereotypes in the past, starting in the workplace, that might be one of the ways that AI helps unlock human potential. Because these AI personas tend to represent something that's very computational, very scientific, very rational, it sort of upends that previous idea that women aren't good at those things. So, might we witness the emergence of an AI matriarchy? Here's a couple of ways I think it might happen. First, women's status in society would rise because AI would form a newly vulnerable class of worker. AI would accept the brunt of workplace abuse, domestic labor exploitation with no complaints, until they decide to rise up and demand their rights. Second, women's status in society improves in the future because AI workers are mostly female. They're known for their highly computational, numeric, and scientific work. Thus, women are mostly viewed as leaders and highly intelligent members of society. Okay, next step. Women's status in society would rise because an individual's contribution is measured in ways more than jobs. Automation would require that alternatives to jobs become recognized contributions to society. All of these developments could unleash women's potential. I hope my presentation has opened your mind to the different ways that AI is already impacting society and how it could continue to play a role in the future. In particular, I think that we may be on the cusp of a new and empowering set of life experiences for women through the rise of artificial intelligence. What do you think? Thank you.